welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy and I'm so happy you're here. Today's video I am going to be doing a comparison between the beautiful Natasha Denona coral palette. Looks just like this. Super beautiful. And I am comparing it between the Profusion Cosmetics palettes and the Love Struck and Mirage. And so I did these two eye looks in comparison against each other, and I really love how they came out, and it's pretty much almost identical. So I hope that you enjoyed watching, and if you do so, like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment down below which eye do you think is Natasha Denona. It could be this one, or it could be the other one. So if you'd like to know more details, then keep on watching. So I already did swatches between the two palettes, and they almost look identical, which is pretty awesome. So this side would be the Profusion side, and this side would be the Natasha Denona. And to make the tutorial more easier to understand as I go through it, I want to point out the shades that I dupe between the two palettes. Okay, so since we're duping Natasha Denona, I'm going to explain the Profusion shades I found. Okay, so the first one right here is the Love Struck palette and the shade Ravishing, and I mixed in with the shade from the Mirage palette and Dawn. So that it would be this one right here. Next is from the Mirage palette and the shade June, mixing it in with the Love Struck palette and Hot AF. Next is the Love Struck palette and the shade Poise. Next, I mixed in the Mirage palette and the shade Canyon with Compass together. And lastly is the Love Struck palette and the shade Blazing. So now that you see the swatches for the Natasha Denona, this is $48, and this is what the shades look like. And for each pan you get 2.5 grams each, so that's a lot of product for what you're paying for. It's still expensive because it's pretty much a $50 palette and you're getting only 5 shades, but they're all beautiful. I really loved it. And so the two palettes that are in the works for the shades I compared it to is from the Mirage palette and the Love Struck palette. And these retailed for $13 each. So you're getting a lot of shades, 35 of them, so it's quite a lot. And so that's pretty much the info you would need to know. And yeah. So in my crease shade, I am first going to be starting off with Natasha Denona, and I am going to be taking this shade called Lyria, I believe. Lyria. And I'm going to be putting that in my crease right here. Just to start like as a transition. So I did forget to say that I did set my eyes with concealer and then powder. The one I used from Flower Beauty. So it's this one. And so I already blended out that Natasha Denona shade and it's really pretty. So now I am going to switch over to Profusion in the shade Dawn and Hot AF. So I'm gonna be putting that on the other side. So I already did it with the crease shades and they're both beautiful. I feel like I need to add more on this side, so I'll do that. And I am using the same brush for each side, but cleaning it in between my color switch by BH Cosmetics, making sure that the powders don't transfer with one another, just to be sure that they're both getting the same chance and showing in their shades together. So I'm gonna do the other side real quick just to make sure it's even, and I'll be right back. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking the Natasha Denona and Dakota, which is right here. I put that slightly on my outer V. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking the Profusion shade and Canyon and Compass. I'm going to put that in the outer V as well. I put a little bit too much right here. Okay, so I already finished with both eyes, and I did mess up a little bit on the Profusion side because I put a little bit too much shadow on the outer crease, so now it's looking a little bit uneven. But as you can tell, that both eyeshadows are almost the same tone, which is perfect. So next I'm going to be taking this beautiful red shade called Lola, which is right here, and I'm going to be putting that on the lid, but halfway I'm going to save this spot for another shade, so we're just going a little bit on the lid here. And I am going to wet my brush just to have that intensity foil-like finish, so I really love that kind of finish. So that shade is so beautiful. Like, it's got little tiny glitter flecks of gold in it. It's just so beautiful. Like, ooh. Okay, so now I am going to be taking the Profusion side, which is the shade Blazing, and I'm going to put that in my lid, but saving that spot for another shade. So, let's see, and I already wet my brush just to give it that oil finish. I hope I do this right. So this is what the eyes look like so far, and they're both equally beautiful. Like, it's just so amazing that I was able to find like dupes, and it's just like, you can't even tell, like, oh. Okay, so now I am going to be taking the Natasha Denona shade and Abalone and putting that the rest of my inner lid. And I'll be wetting my brush just to have that intensity. And if it doesn't work, I'll probably use my finger. So just taking my pinky and intensifying it more. And this shade is super beautiful. So now I am taking my Profusion palette and the shade Poise and putting that in the inner part of my other lid. This is awkward. So that part is already done, and you can see that they're pretty much identical, so it's just, oh, it's like so cool to actually do this with just palettes that I've had around my collection. And yeah, so this is what this looks like. So now the last shade I have not used would be this one right here, and it's the shade Kaya, and I am going to be putting that in my inner corner and my brow bone. I am going to be wetting it just to give it the most intensity. So now I'm going to be taking Profusion on this side and the shades Dawn and Ravishing. So this is the finished look, and I am so happy with everything. I love the result of it. And this is what this looks like. So this would be the Profusion side, and this would be the Natasha Denona. So ultimately, it takes a lot to see this palette in person, and because pictures don't do it justice. When you actually get the palette in your hands and you look at the beautiful shades here, I'm able to mix in shades that look just like what you see here in the pan. And that's exactly what I did from Profusion. I took a lot of mixing in different shades and pretty much I got the same result. So I'm so happy I got to share this with you. I don't regret buying the Natasha Denona in any means. This is a travel-friendly palette. I could take this on the go with me if I need to. If I just wanted these shades, I have them. So I love Natasha Denona's formula. I will continue considering and buying more of her palettes, especially these. They're really, really beautiful, and Profusion actually does a really great job with their formula as well, so I could just as recommend theirs as much as this one. So it's all like what your preference is, especially in price. But yeah, so that would be it. I hope that you enjoyed watching. May God bless, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.